Hello. Uh, Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. Nandrullah, am I audible? Okay, all right. Um, welcome to this series two of inspiring conversation, which in short form we call ICON. And it's my pleasure to be one of the co-hosts. I am Dipesh Thakur. I work for Tibet House as Nalanda courses chief coordinator. And I also have with me my two colleagues, uh, Karma Sichoila and Karma Zompala. They are visible in the Zoom session as Tibet's team. And just first logistics, so that because this session is simultaneously interpreted in Russian, French, and Ladakhi. And if you're new to Zoom, then in your Zoom, you will see a globe icon that you can choose the language that you want to hear this conversation in. And we are also live streaming on YouTube for each individual language that I mentioned in English, in Russian, in French, and Ladakhi. So I see a lot of faces. If I say old faces, then I get into trouble. So it's better if I say I see a lot of familiar faces. I was hoping to see some new faces also, because the whole idea was basically, when we started Nalanda Master's course, we were very, very lucky that His Holiness blessed Nalanda Master's course in December 2016. And thanks to Venerable Geshe kindness that he agreed to take up such a big teaching assignment. And then what happened before the course? Most of Geshe teachings were without any registration, and after the course, almost all teaching became based on registration. So we started losing people who could walk in. So the whole idea of this inspiring conversation was to re-establish that contact with people if they feel, no, I don't want to register. I'm not the type to attend courses. So at least give them some avenue to, Geshe-la's wisdom, kindness, and this very, very rich Nalanda tradition. That's the idea. And we started this series one we did in August last year. And this year being the 90th year birth year of His Holiness Dalai Lama. So we are celebrating that as Year of Compassion. So part of that, we are dedicating this series to this, and we hope to continue further and keep having at least 3, 4 such conversations in a year, depending on Geshe-la's schedule, whoever the anchor is, etc., logistical issues. So today, for series two, we are very, first of all, I'd like to thank Venerable Geshe for agreeing to this series. We know how busy he is, extensively traveling, teaching, meeting people in person. And he very spontaneously said yes when I first spoke to him about this series. So very, very grateful to Venerable Geshe. And then today's, our anchor is Rebika Laishram. Many of you might know. She likes to introduce herself as a long-term student of Buddhist philosophy. The way I like to introduce her is long-term student of how to be happy. So that's the way I like to introduce her. And on the professional side, Rebika, she holds a master's in strategic communication from London School of Economics and Political Science. Most of you would know LSE. That's where she's done her master's. She's a communication strategist by training and is deeply committed to inclusive storytelling, which is a very interesting job profile she has. She's engaged in international development, supporting food systems and climate justice. Currently, she works closely with grassroots farming movements and indigenous communities across the globe, amplifying their voices through communication and storytelling. She enjoys spending time with farmers, sharing meals, working on their farms, and listening to their stories. So that's a very, very brief introduction to Rebika. So now I hand over to Rebika. Rebika, over to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dipeshla, for the kind introduction, and welcome everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you are joining. It's such an honor and a privilege for me today to be here in conversation with Geshe Dorji Damdul. So, Gisela, we have known you most of the time as the Tibet House director, somebody who has completed his Geshe Larampa degree. For those of you who are not aware, it's like equivalent to a doctoral degree. And also somebody who was appointed as the translator of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, who has worked extensively contributing to academic and books, which includes Beyond Religion, the series on the art of happiness. It's one of my favorite books. Also, someone who has worked with psychologists like Professor Paul Ekman and contributed to His Holiness book, The Emotional Awareness. So, Gishla, beyond these titles and roles, for the person who's joining us for the first time today and getting introduced here in Tibet House, who would you say you are, and what is that you like doing?
Thank you, Rebika ji, and also thank you, Tenshigela. So basically, since I was like, I think 16 years old or like 15, since my childhood, I was fond of mathematics. And then when I reached age 15, physics was introduced as a separate subject. And I started to see that this is another of my passion, physics and mathematics. Alongside Tibetan, this was again my passion. So these are three main subjects. And I was thinking of becoming a physicist and not knowing exactly what I was looking to, what was my real passion. I did not know what was going to be happen to me when I grew older. And one thing that I discovered was that when I was on the verge to complete my class 12, which is the completing my high school, then I realized that I started to discover something, but not know exactly where I was and they're heading towards. So what I discovered was that the to become a medical doctor, so because it's totally my naivety, not being exposed to the reality of the medical science, but I got a feeling that there's a dead end there. And then the engineering again is what purely my naivety, thinking that there's again it's a dead end. Once you complete your engineering, then there's dead end. Now I realize that this is another case. You can still go beyond that, but then to think of the physics, I've got a feeling that this is where you can keep growing. So that was my passion. And later on, all because of the blessings of His Holiness the Dalai Lama and a great exposure to my incredibly brilliant teachers. From there, I discovered that finally the purpose is to become a happy person. Happy person. Be yourself happy and then have some common sense. So where you have the common sense, you become a happy person. With common sense will give you compassion. The compassion will give you happiness. So this was this is my journey. This is the journey, and this is more like what I'm really looking for myself as somebody who aspires for happiness, who aspires for compassion based on common sense.
Wow, Gishla, that is interesting, and I'm glad you didn't become a physicist or an engineer. Otherwise, we wouldn't have a great teacher here in Tibet House. So, taking a cue from that, uh, I don't know about all of you, but I have always been fascinated with happiness. I don't know. I mean, like, it's something elusive. Like, so Geshla, how would you explain what happiness is? Like, some people think it's name and fame. Something, oh, if I have the right partner, we call this our better half. I don't know why we say that. I think we are still full, but we still say better half. Then once you get married, probably it doesn't hold true. I don't know. The ones who are married can vouch for it out here. Or some start gaining material wealth. But the more we get wealth, the more trouble it seems to create, misery. So even after getting what we desire, we keep shifting the goalpost, thinking, I'll be happier here. I get this. I'm still not happy. So Geshe, how would you explain what happiness is and how do we become happy?
Okay, Rebika, in fact, this is very true. Oftentimes, when you speak about happiness, more in the academic setting, people say this is not academic subject. This is more the very elusive, very subjective. I would say that this is primarily because that people don't really understand what is happiness. And so the idea is that we all have the potential in a very secular context. Also, we all have, whether you're a believer or non-believer, male, female, it doesn't matter. Everyone has the incredible treasure for what I can, for the time being, call as happiness. Happiness. So the question, what exactly is happiness? So the real happiness is the freedom. The freedom. So when the degree of freedom expands, this is what we call as happiness. And say it is like a ball of or a bundle of cotton, and the cotton sellers, what they do is that to make sure that transportation happens very effectively, they make sure they squeeze the cotton. So the squeezed version of the cotton, this is not is not the real nature of the cotton. And they squeeze it, and to keep it squeezed, what they bind it with the metallic wires to make sure that it remains squeezed. So, which means that just imagine that you are the cotton. You feel so suffocated. So now, what's the real freedom is cut the iron metallic wires. Then the cotton will display its own the nature. It just expand, bloom. This is the true nature of the cotton. Likewise, our mind, each one of us, I'm happy, I'm not happy, so better half. All these are the wealth, I'm famous, I'm popular, I'm powerful, I'm wealthy, I'm a celebrity, Hollywood star or Bollywood star, whatever. So still there's something lacking there. So many of these people, higher you climb the ladder of the popularity, generally speaking, the dependency on the sleeping pills it increases. So there you are not really happy. People think that these are the happiness, but this is wrong way of understanding how to get happiness. So now the first question is, what really does it mean by happiness? It's the freedom. Let your mind manifest its true nature. Let not be conditioned by other factors. The moment your mind is conditioned by other factors, then the mind becomes the servant of these conditions. Conditions will decide who you are. So therefore, how to free yourself from these conditionings. For example, like dependency. Of course, we as a human being, we are dependent on the wealth, material gains. We're dependent on all these things. We are dependent on education, but so with the dependency, we think that this is everything. This is everything. If I get the wealth, then or say the better half, then it makes me complete. This is all illusion, because in a way you are making yourself more vulnerable. That now you are dependent on this person, dependent on this power. The moment the power collapses, then mentally you feel so bereft of what you thought makes you happy. So likewise with the wealth, the power, the fame, the relationship, and so forth. Yes, of course we need to depend on these things, but these are not the ultimate. The freedom should be a thought of insight. So your mind feels the total freedom. total freedom, whatever binds you, conditions you, these are to be removed. So, for example, like, say, even if, let's say, husband and wife, all the world, we're dependent. This is a reality. But the excess, you think that this is everything, that creates the problem. So because that, in a way, you're creating more metallic wire around the cotton of your mind. And then the more you're bound by the metal wire, the cotton feels a suffocation. So you just imagine you're that cotton, and you feel more and more suffocated. This is known as imprisonment. Imprisonment of one's own mind, because of the ignorance of not knowing what you're doing. In the facade of attracting happiness, you are actually creating more the metallic wires to confine you, to bind you. So, and then the more you're bound, the less the freedom. So the less the freedom, less happy. So happiness related to the freedom. Thank you.
Yeah, it's lovely analogy, the cotton, like, you just squeeze the hell out of it. So, like, the freedom of the mind, that's what's important. Krishna, I wanted to move to another aspect of the question, which, most of us feel troubled, which is compassion. And if, you may allow, I wanted to share a quote with you. I mean, especially in today's world, it's really hard to practice compassion. It was in the World Economic Forum, the LinkedIn CEO, Ryan Rolansky, one of the largest platform that, people look for jobs out there, said that the most in-demand skills today are not technical, but human communication, collaboration, and compassion, and empathy qualities that cannot be automated in the age of AI. But my question is, Kishla, when we try to practice compassion at workplace, people think you're weak. If you try to show compassion to your family, everybody starts to walk all over you. So how can we practice compassion in a way that there is self-respect, and also, in a way that we don't lose our strength?
Okay, this is a very serious question, I would say. A very serious question about practicing compassion at the same time that you are not seen as a weak person. And also I do meet with people who say very compassionate by nature, and they try to help so many people, and then they treat you as a doormat. And then you feel so demoralized, overwhelmed, and then you lose faith in the humanity. So this is what oftentimes happens. And in the context of the Mahayana Buddhism, so what I would say is that the interview that is happening today, I truly want it to be very secular in context, where anybody, whether you're a believer or not, it doesn't matter. So finally, everybody wants to be happy, and everybody wants freedom on various levels. So therefore, I personally like to present it in a very secular context, but at the same time say anything good that you can take from the other philosophical traditions like Christianity, Hinduism, Islam, Jainism, or Sikhism, or Baha'i, or Zoroastrianism, or any other religion, whatever is really meaningful, beneficial for the humanity, that too, which can be spoken of in a secular language. We need to take that. There's nothing wrong with this, but we need to make sure that the presentation must be in a secular context. It should not be confined to one religion or this religion or that religion. It should be very secular, because finally we are all just like the children of the one family, whatever religion that you believe in, whatever gender, whatever position, social status, it doesn't matter. We are all of this same, the family, human family, the humanity, or Homo sapiens. So back in say 300,000 years ago, the Homo sapiens, we all just say, sometimes I used to really feel fascinated to see that, oh, this is the white person, this is a colored person. But anybody who grows older, whether you're white or colored, when your hair grows white, that's common thing. Whether you have black hair or red hair or yellow hair, blonde hair or whatever, when you grow old, all the hairs become white. That I really feel so fascinated. And then even the blood is same, and how the mechanism of the body is also same. There's clear indication we all came from the same source. And then no need to discuss what is their source, created God or this, that. No, but we came from the same source. That's for sure. So with this in mind, then the next question is that with this, we all have this aspiration to be happy, to get more freedom. This is the aspiration of everybody. And then the one thing that we can say for sure is that how the child, say, immature human beings, they behave, and how the mature human beings, they behave. Whether you're a believer or not believer, it doesn't matter. Even amongst the non-believers, some extremely kind, no concept of God, no concept of Buddha, no concept of Ram or Prophet Muhammad or Lord Mahavir, Guru Nanak, nothing. But as a human, very compassionate and very happy, very successful. So this reminds me of His Holiness the Dalai Lama. His Holiness says that whether you believe in religion or not is purely your business. But for sure you should be a happy person. For sure you should be a compassionate person. Finally, say your happiness, your freedom is determined by the ease of your mind. And the ease of mind is decided by, we are social animals, we are dependent on others. So, there, how we can live harmoniously, or how we can live in a very conflicting the environment. It entirely depends on thinking. So compassion creates the harmony, and the anger, jealousy, and the divisive mindsets will simply disrupt the environment. When you disrupt the environment, say for example, if you are where you live, you have a house, and your house may be so tidy. The moment you get out, it's so dirty, and the disease you can easily contract diseases, mosquitoes, the dengue, and so forth. You will not like it. Whereas your house is very clean, and also very clean, then you will take pride in this. Oh, I'm in a very good neighborhood. What does it mean by neighborhood? You alone cannot be a neighborhood. You are just one part of it. Neighborhood means others also included. So when others keep clean, then you feel the pride. I'm in a good neighborhood. So therefore, this is where the evolved beings or mature people, so look for what can really give you the real freedom and the ease. That's the compassion, understanding between each other, harmony. And harmony is brought by compassion alone. Without compassion, harmony cannot possibly happen. So this is where the extremely evolved people, whether you believer or non-believer, gender, there's no difference. Evolved beings, and they are very kind by heart, and they can be financially, it can be a billionaire, but very kind at heart. For example, like Ratan Tata, amazing. Usually when I go to the shops like airport bookshops, when I look at the books, I say, okay, this is like this is, and the 10 principles to make you the richest person, 10 things to make you the smart person, and so forth. I'm not so interested. But when I see this book of Ratan Tata, big biography, I don't know whether I get time to read it, but purely out of my respect for him, I just bought it. Purely out of respect for him. He is such a rich person, but so humble, so compassionate. So these are the evolved beings, where you can be ultra rich, But if you're not compassionate, you're a very, very unhappy person, because you have to manage the whole empire of your wealth. And to manage the wealth means so many people involved. And amongst the people, they say some people mentally, they are not so evolved, not smart, and you will shout at them. When you shout at them, your blood pressure will go up. How can you be happy when your blood pressure goes up? And your blood pressure, the bigger your empire, more the blood pressure will go up, because we have to meet with more people. And more the powerful you are, you have to meet with more people. You have to shout with them. With compassion, you see that everyone you meet with who are incapable, you feel the compassion. I get the opportunity to help this person. This is exactly what Ratan Tata demonstrated. He's an Indian, incredibly great philanthropist, an incredibly great role model for all the rich, ultra-rich people. So what I'm saying here is that it's very, very, very possible where you can be the ultra-rich at the same time very compassionate, and ultra-powerful but very compassionate, and like the Hollywood, Bollywood star, celebrity, still very compassionate. It is very, very possible. So, which means that materially, you are very successful, and mentally, I wouldn't say spiritually, I would say mentally, you are very, very happy. So this is a mark of the greatest success. So His Holiness the Dalai Lama always says that you have your body, you have your mind. So His Holiness, of course, His Holiness is a spiritual person. But His Holiness will never say that, okay, forget your wealth, forget your this, just your spiritual. He never says that. You say you have the wealth, you have the body, you have the mind. Your body requires wealth to keep it healthy, for you to get food. For example, like Delhi, you require air purifier. In the summer, you require cooling system. In the winter, you require heating system. And in the monsoon, you require the dehumidifier. Yes, what's the problem with having all these things? This is wonderful. At the same time, you should be a happy person. These things will not guarantee that you're happy. So happiness will come only through compassion. Then the next question is, with compassion, then people take you for a ride. People take you on a ride, and people see that you're weak. So how to manage this? So finally, the happiness is determined by the compassion. But unfortunately, majority of the people, they see the compassion as a sign of weakness. So how do you deal with this matter? And so in the context of the Mahayana Buddhism, there is a concept known as the skillfulness. And the skillfulness is not only what you see in Mahayana. Skillfulness you're going to see even in the atheist, even amongst the agnostics, some of the extremely skilled people. So the skillfulness is something which we need to develop. In other words, compassion, accompanied compassion, taking the form of skillful compassion, that will make sure that nobody takes you on a ride. Nobody takes advantage of your compassion. Nobody sees you as weak. But compassion devoid of the skillfulness, that will make other people feel that you're weak, and you are weak actually. You become vulnerable. So to make sure that the compassion, it should make you happy, make others happy. Compassion, by the very definition, ordinary people will see that as something to make others happy. But that will, His Holiness always says that if somebody who wants to be happy themselves should practice compassion. Somebody who wants to make others happy, practice compassion. So this is a smart move where with the skillful compassion, compassion per se will give happiness to win, let others win. And skillful compassion will also make you win. Skillful compassion makes others win, and skillfulness make you win. Win-win. It's not like win and loss. So win-win. So some people think that, oh, if I'm compassionate, I become happy. This is not good, because compassion, very definitions, should be selfless to work for others. This is too naive. There's nothing wrong that you are happy. You should be happy. If you're not happy, you cannot export happiness to others. If you don't have gold, you cannot export gold to others. So this is so important that when talk about compassion, you should be happy. Number one, you should make sure that you are not taken for a ride. This is so important. This will happen only when the compassion is accompanied by the skillfulness. So skillfulness, how will you acquire the skillfulness? This is the next question. That is, when your mind is driven by the wisdom to know things in a very comprehensive way, in a very subtle way. For example, like in a subtle way, like Albert Einstein. Nobody can take Albert Einstein on the ride with respect to physics, because he knows the subtlety of the physics. And nobody can, for example, say take take, for example, Mark Zuckerberg and the IT people for a ride, because they know the subtlety of how the computers work. So nobody can take them on a ride. So likewise, say for example, like nobody can take Mahatma Gandhi for a ride with respect to managing the whole society with the principle of ahimsa. Nobody, because he's expert in this. Likewise, nobody can take His Holiness the Dalai for a ride with respect to the practice of managing the whole society with compassion. He's the champion of compassion. Mahatma Gandhi is the champion of ahimsa. So here we require the skillfulness based on the thorough knowledge, vast knowledge of the reality based on which your compassion builds up. When this foundation is missing, foundational wisdom is missing, then the compassion can become a weak compassion.
Thank you, Geshe. That was very insightful, the skillful compassion. And hearing this makes you feel hopeful as well, that if you know how to practice it the right way, you will not just win, but win-win, what you said, and be happier. Geshe, the other question that I had in mind, this question for me is very interesting, and I wanted to look at the online participants as well, in the sense, I'm sure this question which is coming, many of you might have experienced in some form or the other at some point in your life, and also everybody who's here in the room. So this is about family conflicts. Here comes the question. So Geshe, we often speak about beings as near and dear ones. Then we have neutral beings and difficult beings. So I don't know about the near and dear. I feel, is it just near and near, and the word dear is not there? Because when you have this very difficult family conflicts, you have a very difficult sibling. I don't know, some children get estranged from their parents, but you have this longing to connect with them, and you cannot walk away with them, and you still have to deal with this family conflict. So how can we, graciously navigate these relationships in a way that, we preserve our connection, but we also are given this space to protect our mind, Geshe? I'm very interested in knowing this.
Okay, this is a very important point, because in the families, this is usually the problem. For example, like as you said, that we are near to each other, but may not be dear. And also that, say, in a family, people say, as initially you are small children, you are brothers, sisters, and when you grow up, you become uncles, aunts, and then the fights happen over the property fights. Earlier, you were fighting with your uncle. Now you become the uncle. Earlier, you were fighting with your aunts. Now you become an aunt. Where your nephew, your brother, your nephew from brother's side, sister's side, they were seeing you as uncle and aunts, and they are fighting with you now. So this is where it's a near, but not dear. This is a big issue. Now, and then how to manage this? How to make sure that you are near, plus that you are protected. How does this happen? How can we make this happen? This is a very serious matter. So I would say that the first thing is, don't think about, start from yourself. We have to start from myself, to start from, say, ourselves. That, what do you want? I want happiness. I don't want the headaches. I want happiness. Start from there. And don't think that this is selfishness, because finally we should be realistic. And His Holiness the Dalai Lama is extremely, extremely, extremely realistic. I remember I think it was in America, that His Holiness is giving a public address, and at the end of the address, the question and answer session is a huge stadium with about, like, it's an indoor stadium, like 30,000. It's jam-packed. And the question and answer session was there. And one person asked that, Your Holiness always speaks about compassion, compassion, but people, take advantage of my compassion. What should I do? So he's going to look at the practicality of His Holiness's, the practical side of His Holiness. His Holiness did not give the answer directly. What His Holiness said was that if a mad dog comes, don't say compassion, compassion, run away. So this is a practical side. So likewise, say, in the eyes of the parents, the children, 2 brothers, 2 sisters, brother, sister, they were your children. But when you grow older, you become aunts and uncles. And then the fights happen with aunts and uncles. Actually, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, you are brothers, sisters, fighting against your aunts and uncles. So this was the situation. So now, how to manage this? In fact, I would say that we need to always begin with the self. We should be very realistic. I should be happy. I don't want to end up into miseries. I don't want to go into the problems. But it doesn't mean that, okay, I let go of all what, for example, you say, in a family, particularly when the conflict is between the brother and the husband, brother and the wife. No, brother and the sister. Sometimes it's very, very unfair. This I could see. Say, the parents will give something bigger to the brother and less to the sister. And even that portion, brother is trying to take away. Because in some traditions, everything goes to the son and not to the daughter. This is totally outdated and very unfair. And particularly, I would say, the brother should be there to protect, to make sure that the sister is taken care of. And on the contrary, now the brother is embezzling what the sister otherwise possesses. Sister's share, she's embezzling that. She is snatching it away from the sister. Extremely, extremely cruel, I would say. It's very, very unfair. And likewise, if a sister does this to a brother, I would not agree. So what I would say is fairness. This is very important, number one. Then the more important thing is that finally you should be protected and you should be happy. It doesn't mean that you have to just let go. Okay, now my brother is fighting with me. I don't want to fight. Take it, everything. So in a way, you are spoiling your brother. You are spoiling your sister. You are spoiling the other side. And the other side will then they snatch away your coat also. So your house is taken away, your food is taken away, your shoes they will take away. If you have a nice watch, even that will take away. Mobile, they will take away. So if this is how you're spoiling. This is not compassion. You're spoiling. So where you have to follow the rules, regulations, the laws of the nation, and make sure that nobody is spoiled, that your brother is not spoiled, and you should not be also spoiled. You're always talking about it in somebody else, but then maybe you are the one who is actually doing that. So these are things that we need to take care of. So with having said this, now near and dear one, the point is that, say, why people are behaving like this? Why people are behaving in the wrong way? Disregarding your brother, disregarding your sister, disregarding your parents even, is very sad. Very sad. So, why this is happening is because of that deep inside, like this, the ball of a cotton. You, as a ball of cotton, you feel suffocated because there are so many wires which bind you so tightly, and this is not your true nature. You want to just let go, let it just manifest freedom. Freedom where all these wires are cut. This is what you're seeking. But you don't know how to make it happen. And you think that, so I will feel the ease if I get more money. Because where there's the money, you can go to hospital very easily. Where there's the money, there are so many friends coming. Where there's the money, you can go to five-star hotel for the say weekends and so forth. And then I need power. So with power, then you say people will listen to you, and I should be a celebrity, so that people will all you will be just on the billboards everywhere, and you get crores of rupees or dollars just with the photograph. You get all these. So you think that these will actually make you free, make you get the happiness. But it's very simple now. You look at just pick up one of your favorites or your say who you are the fan of. Just pick up one of that person and try to Google search the person's biography. You'll see that he's into depression. That person who you see as your role model, with the money, wealth, power, celebrity, so forth, you go through the biography, you'll see that there's a depression story. And all these horrible stories are there, very scary stories are there, very sad stories are there. So this is where we are going wrong. Now the point is that knowing this, finally, that now look at you can learn things from your neighbors. It doesn't mean that you have to go to your neighbor. There are so many good families where the brothers, sisters, they help each other rather than fight over the properties. Help each other. And the father, mother saying that the son, you get a bigger share. The sister, you get less share. Oh, sister, you will not, the daughter, you will not get a share. Brothers, no. She's my daughter. She's the sister. I should protect her. And half. That's amazing. So there are many such stories. The humanity is not completely dark. Humanity is not completely cruel. That's not true. There are so many incredibly compassionate families are there. So look at your neighbors in that sense, not your immediate neighbor. Some immediate neighbors may be so good, but may not all be like that. But there are very good families in the world who are so supportive of each other. So look at them. What makes these families? Would you like to run a family where all the fights are happening, or would you like the family where so nephews, nieces, they visit uncles, aunts, and for the uncles and aunts, there's no difference between your own children and your nephews, nieces. Nephews, they miss their aunts, uncles, rather than fighting over with the court cases. With nephew, nieces, they see the aunt, you say, he is the man, not my uncle, man. She is this lady, not my aunt. So, which of the two you like to lead a family? Which would be your role model? Of course, where everybody is so loving. So, if that is, then what is that? The elixir that makes this family so beautiful. What is that poison that makes which disrupts this family? Anger, selfishness, and other one, compassion. So we know these things well. Once you know these things, then you say, but you may know this, but your other family members may not know this. Some are so kind, some are not kind, but the family is a mixture of all these things. So what you do, you have a huge responsibility. Finally, we should start from your happiness. You have a huge responsibility. So near and dear. How dear? You have a huge responsibility, knowing that this is reality, where compassion governs, skillful compassion governs or creates a harmonious family, good family, near and dear ones, not just near. So knowing this, then you have a huge responsibility to spread this knowledge with your siblings, with the other family members, in some cases even your parents. But the children may be more evolved than the parents. So you can even teach your parents like this. And in some cases your siblings, your friends, your neighbors at the workplace, the colleagues. You can spread this, teach this in a very skillful way with you as a role model. Not that you smoke and say don't smoke. And you shout and say don't shout. Not like this. Walk the talk. This is required. Then people will be inspired. Even your brother, sister, so otherwise very selfish. They see that you are somebody who has this gravity, the grip on your family, but the family is so harmonious, compassionate, and happy because of your presence. So they learn from you. So, however nasty your family member is, the true nature of the person, there is great beauty there. And this beauty is like a gem, is like a diamond hidden under the ground, may not be visible outside. Because it's not visible, people, you see that as a dirt. But actually, this diamond, everyone has this diamond. So sometimes, oh, he's nasty, she's nasty. We are underestimating the diamond that they have, each one of them. Everybody has the potential. People need opportunities. Some need more opportunities, and some with little opportunity will shine. Some need more affection, more attention, more opportunities. Then they'll also shine. So, in other words, we can't, within a short span of time, your life, we can't expect that everybody will become like Mahatma Gandhi. Everybody will become with your skills. You can make everybody like His Holiness. That we cannot make that. But the mark of your success is that your sibling, with you as a role model, if the sibling has the capacity to be compassionate, the say 20%, 80% nasty, 20%. And at the moment demonstrate only 10%. And because of your presence, if it increases from 10 to 20%, this is a mark of your success. Because your suffering, it gets reduced from 20 to 10. Because the other person cooperates with you, 10% more. So this is how we can help others. So then this is the meaning of the near and dear ones. This is one thing. Then next is that we have to finally start from yourself. The Buddha said that I show you the path and you walk the path. If you don't walk it, nobody can do anything to you. So therefore, finally, we have to start from ourselves. Don't blame your brother, don't blame your sister, don't blame your parents, don't blame your this, that, and so forth. Start from yourself. Start from yourself. When you're a small child, I can't say that you have to start from yourself. But the moment you hit 16 years old, and 18, you are an adult. So from there, you have to start from yourself. Start from yourself, and then see you grow. When you grow, make with this understanding that you grow and you spread this compassion, the happiness, others will see that you are growing, you are more compassionate, you are happier. So with this, now the thing is quite interesting. That when you are helping others, by finally people have to know how to do that. Everybody wants to be happy. Everybody wants to, just like cotton bound by the metal wire, to feel freedom, cut the metal, but they don't know how to cut it. So they think that it is by getting more wealth that it's been cut, you get free. This is the contrary, it's just opposite. So where the real knowledge, how to expand for compassion, skill for compassion, that will really cut these metal, and then you will feel the freedom. So therefore, the thing is that with this, it's quite an interesting story. There are different phases. The first phase is protect yourself. Particularly when you reach age 16. Age 16, you are old enough to decide for yourself, to protect yourself. When you age 5, 6, 7, 8, you're vulnerable. Nothing, no lecture can help the child to protect themselves. You need somebody to protect you. But the moment you hit 16, don't blame anybody. Protect yourself. Learn how to protect yourself. Once you protect yourself, then how to expand your ease. Number 2, that is how to be harmonious with your family members. How to be harmonious. How to be harmonious is, first, they say the sound of the clan. Say the other one moves with, say, 10 units. You also move with 10 units. It's loud. Other one moves with 10 units. You move with only 2 units. Less. So your contribution, don't always blame others, your contribution also makes you suffering. You contribute to your own suffering. So this is the next phase, where knowing that I want whatever others behave, but I don't want suffering. And I don't want suffering, but it's not that I will have suffering, zero suffering at the moment. But at least I can minimize this. I can mitigate the intensity of suffering by not contributing from your side. This is number 2. Then number 3 is so beautiful. In the course of your journey, you can change the mind of the other person. This is amazing. In the course, for example, you're dealing with somebody else. In the course of for example, somebody is fighting the case where 70% belongs to him or her, and you get only 30%. Okay, it's fine, but I should make sure I'll get 30%. In the course, personal mind changes and says that 50-50. Personal minds can be changed if you are that skillful. And even to a great extent, that person the mind may change that you get the 70, I'll take 30. So these are the skills. And then what will you do? If you reach to this level where you can make the other person's mind change, who are so nasty, cruel, now change the mind because of your compassion. Like the magnet. The metal is there, and metal is not a magnet. Ordinary iron, they're not the iron filings, they're not metal, the magnet. You attach to the magnet, keep it for a long time, even they become magnet. Likewise, you change the mind through your role example of compassion. And then extra money that way, no, I don't need this, you keep it, because you really mean it. So that you'll protect them, and they feel that, then they are transformed, they become one like you. So then they will change their own the circle. This is so beautiful. There are various phases in our life where the near can be changed to near dear. Yeah, this is very possible. But then keep in mind that how successful can this be? Can this be successful in all cases? Or don't expect that. In some family, the degree of the selfishness of the other family members can be so strong, like 80%, 90%, never 100%. But 80%, 90%, then it requires more skillfulness from your side, more skillfulness and more knowledge how to deal with these problems. And then to the extent you can, for example, see your influence. If it is, sometimes can be like they can make the other person reduce from 80 to 60%, or 80 to 40%. It's a big success. Or 80 to 60%. Or 80 to 70%, or 80 to 79.5%. Even that is a success. This is, in some cases, sometimes we are so unskillful that we can increase 80 to 90. Because that you said that you're so selfish, he becomes even more selfish. So these are unskillfulness. So all these steps are there. This is known as the understanding of interdependency. Understand, the deeper the understanding of the interdependency, the deeper is your acknowledgement of compassion, and the more compassionate you are, you become the ocean. Ordinary water stream cannot affect you. Yeah, your family members being nasty, they cannot affect you, and you can affect them. This is what, yeah.
Geshe, it's very interesting that merely hearing it, that somebody can have the capacity when they work on their mind, that they can also contribute to, change or transform. And I like to keep our expectations a little low.
Yes.
The 79.9. We have a saying in the development sector that incremental change is also change.
Yes.
You don't always look for a leap in change.
Yes.
So if we keep that in mind, I think we'll stay hopeful that we will be on the path, and we need to walk the path, and we might be the problem in the family. So that's a great take. Geshe, before we move to the audience, I am sure everybody is waiting to ask some questions. I just wanted to touch on one more point, because you have mentioned about depression when you talked about people getting more and more wealth. So there is also an increasing issue of loneliness. It's considered almost like an epidemic now. And they say almost 30% premature death happens because of loneliness. And it's also very interesting. We are in a hyper-connected world. There is social media, there is online community forums, there is also online dating platforms, and everybody goes on a date. but seems like people are more and more disconnected. So how do we address this sense of longing and belonging, or, this loneliness that people have, developed almost like an epidemic now?
In fact, I fully agree with this, that the loneliness is a disease. It is increasing now. It is rapidly increasing. And as you said, as beautifully said, that so we are social animal, and then we need to be connected. And but then while the means to connect each other increases, the disconnection also increases. That is the irony, greatest irony. So whatever is happening, the question is how to deal with this loneliness, how to remove this pain of the loneliness. To be alone and to be lonely, these are different. Somebody may be happiest to be alone. Somebody may be happiest with other people, but somebody may be happy with other people, at the same time may be so lonely. So this is a problem. So how to overcome the problem of the loneliness? It's not that you're lonely and you are not lonely, you're with other people, your problem is solved. No, this is not reality. So for example, say you are sitting with somebody and you're on phone. You're discarding the other person. Say you're talking to somebody else. And then when you meet that person, again you'll not talk to the person, you'll talk again somebody else on the phone. So this is the greatest irony. So the next question is how to deal with this problem. That this is truly like a pandemic. This is a disease spreading so wildly. So how to deal with this question? So finally, again, the point is that our mind, the lonely means that I want something and I cannot accomplish this on my own and I need help. But there's no help there for me to get it. So this way you feel lonely. So that I have to do on my own. There's no help coming. So whereas this feeling of loneliness, for example, say somebody says, okay, I'm feeling so lonely, nobody's around. For some people, I'm so lucky, there's such a privacy there. So I'm so happy now. I could feel the peace. I can hear the sound of the silence. It's a beautiful expression. And I can hear the sound of the silence. It's way, way more beautiful than the sound of the voice. So this is how we take it. Now the thing is how to say remove the pain of the loneliness. This is the question. So for this, what I would say is that the first. So when we talk about the loneliness, we talk about loneliness. In a way, this loneliness tells you that your mind has an incredible capacity. Because loneliness means that, for example, say you have many things to do, still you feel so lonely. You're with other people, still you feel lonely, which means that your mind is not still happy. It has that capacity to do for more. This is incredibly great facility of the mind, that you can actually go for example, say the Albert Einstein. He was a genius, and if you look at him in public gatherings, he was still scribbling something on the paper. He was looking for more discoveries. He was looking for more inventions. So this is a capacity of the mind. It's amazing. At the same time, when the capacity of the mind has, which it is looking for, when it's not met with this, then you will feel lonely. You'll feel lonely. For example, like say, I cannot manage this, and then he can help me, but they are busy, so I'm alone. So you actually look for something And you think that this can be done by somebody else. You cannot do it alone. You think somebody else can do it. But then the others are not there. So this is what you call as loneliness. Actually, we have to train our mind in such a way that this mind, which is like a monkey mind, always looking for something, you should give this monkey mind a busy work so that it doesn't get time to feel the loneliness. What? To let the mind feel the sense of purpose. To let the mind feel that, oh, there's a purpose in doing this. For example, they say, I love physics a lot. And if somebody forced me to study geography and teach geography, for example, say, I love Buddhist philosophy. And that was like 2003, 2004, like 21 years ago. One of my monk friends, he asked me to teach English, and that was the worst thing that I think I should be doing. I have no passion in it. It doesn't mean it's the worst thing in general for me, because I don't have passion. Even spending 15 minutes in 2 days, you feel such the burnout. You feel that. I could still feel it because I don't have this passion. So the point is that I don't see any purpose there. I don't see any passion. There's no purpose. When you don't feel a sense of purpose, then it is like you are just so hollow. And then, hollow means it's all relative. That there should be a bigger purpose in this, and I cannot accomplish this. And then the people around me who can help me, they're not there. Then you feel the loneliness. Whereas, whatever you're doing, you see the purpose. You will never feel lonely. So the feeling of loneliness will go away. So how to let your mind feel the purpose? Let your mind be engaged with something. Keep it occupied with something important which you like. Which means somebody who likes alcohol, always with alcohol. No, this is not which you like means which you wisely like, not unwisely like. Which you wisely like, which makes you happier, not which makes you more unhappy. So wisely, unwisely means which may give you immediate happiness, but then you keep with this, then the miseries will start increasing. Whereas you do something and you get happiness keeps increasing. So one thing that I always tell people is that, so what is the mark of you being a good person or a purposeful person? Is that as you grow in age, so for example, the metaphor that I give is that when I was a little boy, age 7, I still remember that. 7, I looked at my hands against the sunlight. It was so cute. So now it's no more cute. And they say, those days, my hairs, they were all very silky. Now all white. And wrinkles are coming. This is the reality. Nobody can stop that. Nobody can stop that. But your mind becoming happier, people can stop. You can stop it. Your misery is growing. You can stop it. People can stop it. But finally, you are the one who can stop it. You're physically becoming strange. Nobody can stop. You cannot stop it. For example, like this boy, the young men, all these young men, and this girl here, young girls, young boys. At the moment, they are young. But after 30 years, like what I'm today, they'll become like that. 100%. Nobody can stop it. But your miseries, your body is becoming weaker. Your mind also becomes weaker, more sad, no. That is not sure. Mind, whether it becomes happier or unhappy, is purely in your hand. Body, nobody can stop it. Body will keep degenerating it. keep degenerating. So the mind, you can stop this from becoming unhappy. So where somebody reaches my age, like these young boys and these young girls, they reach my age, and if they miss the youth, this is a mark of they having wasted their life. Where these young boys and girls reach my age, and you become happier. It's not about your degrees. It's not about how much money will you have. But if you become happier, this is a mark of you not feeling lonely. Lonely means unhappiness. Happy means not lonely. Loneliness is a part of unhappiness. So when you're happy, unhappiness is gone. So loneliness is a part of this also negated. So therefore, loneliness is an indication where you don't find a purpose. So you have to look for a purpose. And one, you are physically healthy and young. Don't think that this will remain forever. When you're physically young, people will there, they call you, oh, let's have a meeting. Let's go for a picnic. Let's go for a party. Let's go for a drink. But when you grow older, when you reach age 30, 40, they are very busy with their own family. Nobody will call you. Once in a while they may call you. How are you doing? Let's go. I came here in Delhi. Can we meet? Because this person has a time to waste. Because the person has a time in Delhi. And then you go with this. But when the person is in the family, will never call you like this. Because he or she is busy there. So we should be smart. Don't think that, oh, he's welcoming. Just check if the person welcomes you for a drink when he or she is in the family. Outside, they will call you because they have time to kill. They need, to kill the time. So, all in all, what I'm saying is that loneliness is where you don't feel the purpose of your existence. So we have to look for a purpose. How? At this young age, while you are still young, don't waste your time. Today, wasting time involves like going to the parties all the time. Parties, drinks, and then the mobile. Like 15 minutes change to 2 hours. 2 hours change to 3 hours, 4 hours, mobile. So these are all what steals your time, what steals your purpose of life. So we have to look for a purpose. How to look for a purpose? You have your strength. You have to identify those strengths. If you cannot identify the strength, it doesn't matter. But look for smart people, senior, smart, experienced people. Go to these people, and in the course with communication, just say, this is what I will do. What do you think? You don't have to follow exactly what the other person says, but you have to gather information from them to know who you are, your strength. And based on that, you work on it, and then you found the purpose. Once you find the purpose, your monkey mind doesn't get time to run away or, just be scattered here and there, and finally say your energy gone. And then at the end of the day, nothing's in your hand. So it is purposeless. Whereas you feel a purpose based on your strength, which somebody else may help you to identify that, and then try to work on this, then you see that your strength actually keeps growing. When you see that your strength is this, here is my strength. It keeps growing. Then the happy hormones will start flowing within you. Oxytocin, dopamine, then endorphin. These happy hormones will flow. With the flow of the happy hormones, not the temporary happy hormones. The very reliable happy hormones flow, and it happens more consistently. Then your happiness keeps growing. Your happiness keeps growing, your immunity strengthens. Your immunity becomes strong, then you will not contract diseases very easily. So then you see that you say that the purpose is there, and then meanwhile you become older. As you grow older, your happiness keeps growing. So you have no time to feel lonely. So what happened was that during the COVID time, one of my friends, he said that during the COVID time it was quite strict not to mingle. in the public. He said, Gisela, I'd like to come to meet you. I cannot say no. I said, okay. And from the tone, I could feel that there's no purpose for him. It's just, what is that? Gapshap. Gapshap meaning chat. What is that?
Yes, gupshup, chat,
No.
gossip, chat,
Gossip.
chit chat.
Chit chat.
Yeah.
It's not gossip, chit chat.
Yeah.
Then I sensed it. Then I told him that it's not necessary. I mean to say that take care of yourself. I'll take care of myself. Let's not meet. If I say this, it can be very offensive. So I just gently told him that is there any purpose? Is there any reason? He said, there's no purpose. My wife asked me to go to meet you. I said, why? She said that Geshe is alone. Geshe is alone in Tibet House. So he must be feeling bored. And he must feel. I said that I have no time to feel bored, lonely. I have no time to feel lonely. So even 24 hours is too less for me, right? If that's the reason, please, I'll be more happy. I'll be more happy if you don't come. Tell your wife, and thank you for worrying about me. Nothing to worry about me. I'll be more happy. There are so many things that you can do. So on all, the things that find your strength. And everybody has a strength, your own strength. Identify the strength either with the help of yourself or with the help of some smart, experienced elders. Identify your strengths and then work on this. When you work on this, don't think that I'm smart in this area. Be humble. Start from small. Even if, say you are from a very big family, where your father must be earning like, say, 10 lakhs or 1 crore per month, and say you feel just lost. And then finally, this is how, so then, okay, now I've discovered my strength, so I need to work on this. And where you apply for the job and your job is where you get only 5,000 rupees per month or 10,000 rupees per, it's fine, take it. It's not for the sake of salary. It's for the sake of strengthening yourself, growing yourself. Work on it. Be humble. Your father may be, earning 20 lakhs per month. Your mother may be earning 20 lakhs, 25 lakhs. But if you're earning 10,000, don't feel embarrassed. It's not for the money. It's for your growth. It's for growth. So keep growing. And when you grow, there's happiness. This happiness that you get, if you are to buy this happiness for 1 lakh rupees, 10 lakh rupees, 20 lakh rupees, you will not get it. It is so precious. So superficially, you get only 5,000 or 10,000. But you get this joy, which even with 10 lakh rupees, you cannot buy this. It's so precious. So build on this. And then as you grow older, you become happier. Through your experience, you can teach others. You can feel a sense of accomplishment. And then on that basis, also see how to encourage others to go in this direction. Give direction to others who are otherwise lost, who feel lonely. You teach them how not to be lonely.
Thanks, Geshe. I like that point, like choose your purpose, but wisely choose your purpose. So don't forget the prefix of wisely. Otherwise, you will start filling your life with events, thinking that will do away with loneliness, and that wouldn't. Geshe, on that note, I wanted to take a question from the online audience.
Sure.
The question is from Kirill, I guess. So the question is, when you're passionate about studying Buddhism, philosophical systems, the practical side of knowledge, etc., how can you avoid excessive fanatism and spiritual materialism? How can you properly use this knowledge and build your daily life around it without going to extremes?
Okay, so this is a very good question. Finally, say going to Buddhism or religion or spirituality or whatever, whatever you're doing, whatever you are engaged in, I would say that the mark of being successful in this direction is that you should become a happier person, and others around you, particularly those who know you so well, they feel more comfortable with you. This is a mark of your real enrichment of your spirituality or the journey. And so with this, they say you go to the excess. There's nothing wrong. Whereas, say, you start knowing a lot, and then at home you become extremely like the same unhappy person. And so look, what you said doesn't make any sense. There's not emptiness. Emptiness should be like this, none of them are negative. This is not like this. And all the other people, they're all suppressed. They feel suppressed rather than encouraged. This is where you are not going the right direction. So in other words, the mark of your success of your journey, spiritual journey, is that people around you, they should feel more and more comfortable. Earlier, they may not be so comfortable talking to you. Now they start to feel comfortable talking to you. And you also become happy person. This is mark of the success of your spirituality. So if that is happening, so for this, for example, if somebody's working for a company and your salary is like, say, 10,000, fine, and then the next time is the increase to the 10 lakhs. What's wrong? Take it. What's wrong? But then it becomes 10 crore. Take it. What's wrong? Oh, it's too excessive. Don't be afraid of, So with good things, don't be afraid of the excess. With the bad things, be afraid of excess. With the bad things. So therefore, spirituality. What is spirituality? You become happier. Your surroundings become happier. Keep increasing it. Do it more. There's no excess. There's not excess. This is required for the community. For example, like His Holiness the Dalai Lama. If the world, today we have only one His Holiness the Dalai Lama. If you have 10, we're good, lucky. If you have 100, we're good. 1,000, 10,000, 1 lakh, all the people like His Holiness the Dalai Lama, this is not excess. This is very good. But the bad people, if the number increases, this is excess. We have to control. Thank you.
Geshe, there is one question on social media. Dixit Angmo, it's from online. Please suggest some tips on ways to lessen the overstimulation that social media and hustle culture is promoting.
Okay, there's also another thing. Yes, for example, like the news, and likewise social media. So there, the best thing would be, okay, news should be cut off from the social media, should have cut off from the news. Don't do it. Don't cut off. So some people say, no, don't cut off yourself completely. Why? You are in stress. No, don't cut off. You are in this world. Because one day, if you cut off yourself, then you don't know what's happening in the world. And next time, the world may come to even snatch your house. And still you are ignorance bliss. So you have to know the world. Don't be cut off from the world. You have to know the world. But, for example, let's say that the weather is bad. Delhi, the pollution is hitting 400 AQI, 400. If you know this, now finish. Don't look at it over again. What's the Delhi pollution? What is the Delhi pollution? This news said it, that news said it. You don't have to listen to all the news. Once you know the one standard news, full stop, keep it there. So there, what happens is that, so in the Buddhist psychology, again, this is the beautiful psychology, which you find taught in Buddhism, the 5 functions of the mind: contact, attention, discrimination, and feeling. So finally, burnout, or stress, fatigue, this is all about the feeling, unpleasant feeling. When the unpleasant feeling builds up, you don't want it. You don't want it, still you have it. So therefore you are struggling to get away from this, struggling. You struggle, it consumes energy. You consume a lot of this mind consumes a lot of energy to fight against this unpleasant feeling. And you are actually, on the one hand, your body is fighting in favor of you against this unpleasant feeling. And on the other hand, you're fueling this unpleasant feeling by you all know the news, from the situation, negative situation once, and you're trying to look it over and over and over again with this news, that news, this news, that news. If you don't put a stop, the news, the algorithm is designed in such a way that the news will come one after the other, one after one, up about the same thing, which means that unpleasant feeling is kept fueling your. These news will keep fueling your unpleasant feeling. Unpleasant feeling builds up, then you consume no more energy to fight it. Consume more energy. It takes you have to use more energy to fight it. Then the fatigue happens because the energy drained. You feel fatigue, burnout, no energy. And then you feel mentally overwhelmed. What is my overwhelmed? There's no joy, unpleasant feelings, stress, energy drain, overwhelmed. So this is where, so know the reality. So the Buddha taught that we have to, the root of our problem is ignorance. On the one hand, we learn about the self-grasping ignorance grasping this object real. But we have to apply this in real life. Ignorance of having to go through all these news with the same kind of matter. Instead of helping, is harming you. You don't want the harm. And still you are pulling the materials to harm you more. Why? Because of ignorance. No, don't cut yourself from the information. Get a standard information. Once you know this, don't ruminate over the same thing. Don't let the news ruminate over it over and over again. So be smart in that sense. Don't be cut off from the world. Know what is happening in the world. Know this. No need to repeat it over and over again. So if you do that, if you have a sense of this smartness, street smartness, be street smart. That know what's happening around, but don't let the news drain your energy. How? Don't let the news repeat. Then the algorithm knows that you're not interested. It will not show you the next one. Otherwise, algorithm will show you more and more interesting things, and then your energy, more and more energy will be drained. So these are the sense of control. Sense of control, knowing the reality. On that level, I'm not talking about the intrinsic reality and so forth. I'm talking about the reality that I should know what's happening in the world, number one. Number two, there's no need for me to repeat the same news. If you don't know how to apply this, if you don't have the sense of discernment that there's no need for me to repeat the news. I know what the situation is. I don't have to repeat, let my energy be drained. Then you are smart. So all the remaining energy will be saved. So that will keep you going. Then you can help the world rather than the world overwhelming you.
It's very interesting because everybody thinks we can't beat the algorithm of social media, but the trained mind can beat anything, I guess. Not just the trained mind. When you train your mind, and then you know which news to watch or not to watch, and you're mindful and you're aware, I don't think any algorithm can beat that kind of a mind.
Exactly.
That was very valid. Yeah. Geshe, moving to one question on compassion that we spoke extensively today. The online question is on Geshe spoke about skillful compassion. So here is an example. I clearly feel that different job environments have different influences on me. At my last job, the management spoke in a passive, aggressive manner to almost everyone. And I started to feel anger rising within me. I realized that by working in such a place, I simply didn't respect myself, and I quit, says the question from online. So how can one determine when compassion is unskillful and when the problem truly lies in the environment, and how can one understand when it is necessary to work on oneself and when it is time to leave for another place?
Okay, this is a very practical question. Thank you so much. Okay, so the say whether I should leave or I should change the environment. I should change the situation. company, change the whole system of the company, or I should leave. What should I do? Say at the moment the situation is such that I cannot be in the same situation. Either situation should change or I should leave. So this is the very serious matter. So for this, if I ask you, okay, there's a fight happening among small children, and you can resolve the fight, but your arms are broken, you are plastered, unplastered. So should you go or not go? If you go, a small child hits you, your arm will go bad again. So you are protected by the plaster telling you don't go in the crowd. So you have the capacity to resolve the fight there amongst the small children. Now, same, it depends. Should you go or not go? It depends on your plaster. How strong is your arm? Your arm is perfect, well, go and save. If you're plastered, if you are freshly broken, you go there, it'll damage you more. You, instead of solving the problem, you can create more problem. So you see there, your fracture becomes even worse, and then you blame them, the small children. Then you may even slap the small children. You hit me, right? You can make the situation worse. So you have to see your situation. See, in fact, keep in mind that we all have that capacity. We all have the capacity to be as smart as the Buddha, as smart as Lord Ram, as smart as Jesus Christ. We all have that capacity. Only thing is that the treasure of the potential for your ease, happiness, confidence, skillfulness, it is there, and for some people it is more coming on the surface. So for some people there is deeper down, it's not on the surface. So at entirety you have to know who you are, what is where is your what level you have reached. We all have the capacity to reach the highest level, but some reach 10%, some reach 80%, some reach 90%, some reach 91%, and so forth. You have to know your capacity, and if your capacity is such, if your capacity at that point, your capacity is such that environment can influence you, overwhelm you, then it's time for you to leave. For you to leave. Whereas if your capacity is 90%, you can change the system. For example, like Mahatma Gandhi changed the system. And during the Mahatma Gandhi's time, the Indian population is at 200 million. 200 million Indians, they were given the freedom by changing the system by Mahatma Gandhi's thinking. He has that capacity. So if you have that capacity, change the system and save the community, the whole community. But if you don't have that capacity, then you have to keep growing out yourself. For the time being, don't stay in the crowd, come out, because your hand is faster. So this is where you really need to know yourself, your potential. And if you don't know your potential, don't worry. Make sure that you get counseling, you get counsels, advice from senior, experienced, knowledgeable people, and then on that basis you will take a decision. So this is what we can do. So sometimes we have to leave, sometimes we have to stay there, because the good people leave, the number of the bad people increase, so the community will suffer more. So sometimes you have to leave, sometimes you have to stay there, sometimes you have to change the community. So it entirely depends on the individual situation. Yes.
Very practical response, Geshe. I would have loved to take more questions, but I'm going to take one last question in the interest of time. This is on the political aspects. So how can we engage with and learn about the political aspects of our society without being overwhelmed by negative emotions?
Okay. So I would say that yes, this is again another very sensitive and practical question. Say people can people on a large scale, people can be greatly affected positively, negatively, destructively, because of the political wave. So How should we think of that? So the first thing is that protect yourself. Protect yourself. Make sure that you don't unnecessarily got into problem. Number one, always begin from there. Then number two is think of the community also. Community also. How to protect the community. How to protect the community is, for example, in the world. For example, say that they are some brilliant people plus compassionate who have been thinking about how to create world peace. But usually their voices just go in vain sometimes. But they are not zero. They are role models. So we have to think, protect yourself. Meanwhile, think of also helping the world, future generations. How to do that? Say in your own capacity. For example, like now ready-made. Ready-made means provided to us, provided to the world. Is His Holiness the Dalai Lama's Sea Learning Program, Universal Ethics, Introduction to Universal Ethics. And now taking the shape of sea learning, spearheaded by Emory University, USA. His Holiness's vision put into mission by Emory University in the form of sea learning, social, emotional, ethical learning. So this full-fledged program created there, that is for the betterment of the world. It's not betterment of one country, not just betterment of one religion, one gender. No, it's for the betterment of the whole world. All genders, all the communities, all ethnicities, all religions. For that. So what can you do that? How can you be a part of this? Is that with the best of your intention, try to spread this message, Sea Learning Program, and also spread your compassion. Spread compassion and inspire younger people later when you become a politician, later when you become the bureaucrat, later when you become a CEO of a company, or you become a manager of a company, whatever. Always be compassionate. You will be happier. Spread this message. And then the best would be the Sea Learning Program. So this is to be introduced on a same scale, on school level, university level, institution level. So if that is implemented, then the students, they like the physics that we are learning, mathematics that we are learning, science, the biology that we are learning, or the account or economics, which we learn like this. This subject, sea learning, should become like this curriculum of a regular university school program. And then children who are going to graduate from this, the future leaders, political leaders, bureaucrats, the corporate world, and the teachers, school principals, or the parents. So they all, even as an ordinary laborer, will become a very ethical person, very kind person. So this is going to be the vision of His Holiness, that the world truly is going to be peaceful, where there is all these missiles will stop, wars will stop, and if there's any problem happening, national disasters happen in one country, the rest of the leaders will jump to save this place and this group of the people, the community. So all leaders will be there to give hands rather than sending missiles to each other. So this will be the future. And you can do that. Spread the word of the sea learning, and spread the word to encourage, inspire you, because it's not that the genius will be born only in the educated family. No, genius can be born even in the poorest of families. Spread your message to all the small children. For example, one thing which is very inspiring, hopeful for me was when I go to Shikshandra school here in Gurgaon. So small children, I was asked to invited by the Shikshandra school, Minodiji, the principal, and the Isar. And I was to give the talk to small children of class 6, aged like 10, 11. I said, what's the purpose of life? Everybody's raising their hand, saying the compassion, the peace. It's amazing. One school principal taught this, and all small children, they learned this. Just imagine, these children, when they become the leaders, CEOs, and the bureaucrats, most likely they'll become very compassionate leaders. This is what is expected. This is what we can do. Yeah.
I couldn't agree more. The vision of His Holiness of, spreading sea learning, I hope it happens, because all this change can be trickled down from education, like the way you said, through one person, affecting millions and transforming millions of lives. It has been an amazing conversation today, Geshe. I would like to continue, but we'll have to come to a close today. And thank you so much, Geshe, for your time, Tibet House, and all the translators. But for those of you, if it has sparked any interest and you still want to be with Geshe, we will be here tomorrow again in the same time. And I invite you all to join. And I would like to dedicate this merit for the long life of His Holiness the Dalai Lama and for the happiness and joy of all sentient beings. Thank you, everyone. Good night and have a good day.
Yeah. Thank you, Rebika. Thank you so much, Geshe. I would also like to add, like Rebika said, that tomorrow it's same time. And then if today's session, some of you joined late, you want to catch up, then tibethouse.in/icon. Tibethouse.in, I had put it in the chat also. So all the links are there. We live streamed today's Zoom session, so you can catch up through the live stream. And you want to share it with your friends and family. Some of them may have been quite busy. They caught up only for 10 minutes and they may ask you, can I see the recording? So that would be just one stop place where all the links are. And in tomorrow's session, Venerable Geshe will also open the registration for Nalanda Diploma Course Batch 6. So, after Rebika is done, that towards the end, we would request Venerable Geshe to open the registration for Nalanda Diploma Course Batch 6. So more about it tomorrow. Thank you so much. Thank you. Good night. Good day. Bye-bye.